My husband is very controlling. Paul texts me all day long. Paul is obsessed with knowing where I'm at all times.
I text Courtney up 20 to 30 times an hour.
Where are you at? When are you gonna be home? Can you come home now? Did anybody hit on you at work today? How long till you're home? Paul texts me if he goes into the next room, and we live in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Why are you gonna be that late? Is there a reason? You told me it would be 30 minutes. I am obsessed with knowing where Courtney is at all times.
It drives me absolutely crazy. I feel trapped. I am mentally exhausted. Paul is smothering me.
She says you don't have a job, and that one of the reasons that you don't have a job is so you are free to check on her. Closer or further apart? How's it going so far?
Bad, real bad.
I mean, you're being honest, right? That's exactly what I want you to do. She says you lie about job interviews, that you don't really do it. You say you're going to do it, but you don't do it. Does that inspire confidence, or does it make you feel worse?
It makes me feel worse.
Take a step back. She says that you promise to do better when she's had enough and heads to her mother's to spend the night, and you say, okay, I'll do better, but you never stick to it. Better or worse?
Worse.
She says that you have harassed her to the point that she throws up. Better or worse? She says you don't want her spending any time with friends or family. Better or worse? She says that you have stolen the passwords to her online accounts, and in fact, you deleted emails from us about this show when she was reaching out for help to get something working for this marriage. Better or worse? She says that you got the passwords to her Facebook account and you just deleted that. Better or worse? It's a pretty visual representation of how it's working from her perception so far, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, you say that she is cold and distant and really standoffish from you. Does that make you feel better or worse?
Worse.
Take a step back. You say that she goes to her mother and tells her everything about y'all's life behind closed doors. Which way are you going to walk on that one? She talked to a boyfriend on Facebook. You said you didn't so much mind that she talked to the boyfriend, but you certainly minded that she hid it from you.
Yes, sir.
Better or worse? You know, we really wonder sometimes what the impact of our actions are. Have you ever seen a clear representation of how this marriage has gone since you got in?
No.
How do you feel right now seeing her standing over there? She would rather be over there by herself than standing with you.
It makes me feel guilty. It makes me feel like I've done everything wrong.
Is this somewhere you wanted to run to, or is this somewhere you feel like he's pushed you?
I feel like he's pushed me.
How many times does he text you in a day?
Probably about 40 to 60 times.
40 to 60 times. Have you ever heard the old saying, what I fear, I create? Say that, what I fear, I create.
What I fear, I create.
What's that mean?
Pretty much whatever I think of that happened in the past or any fear that I have is going to create more problems.
You fear she's going to leave you.
Yes, sir.
You fear she's going to move away from you. You fear she's going to turn towards somebody else. You fear that this is going to break down. Mm-hmm. Is that not exactly what you're creating by clinging and smothering and chasing her?
Yes, sir.
So you're an embodiment of that saying, what I fear, I create. Mm-hmm. You are creating exactly the distance that you fear in your marriage. You have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.